What if I told you every successful creative project, whether it's a blockbuster movie, a groundbreaking video game, or an iconic brand, follows the same hidden formula? And what if I told you that if you don't understand it, your own creative work might fail before it even starts? People think creativity is about pure originality, about genius ideas appearing out of nowhere. But that's a myth. The truth, success in the creative world isn't magic, it's a system. Let's break it down. You've probably heard stories of misunderstood geniuses, artists or inventors ahead of their time, who only become legends after years of failure. And sure, sometimes that happens, but for every Blade Runner that eventually finds an audience, there are thousands of creative projects that just disappear. The truth is, great ideas fail all the time. Creativity alone isn't enough. You need execution, timing, and the right mix of elements to turn an idea into a lasting success. And that's where the formula comes in. Number 1, an established foundation. Successful creative projects don't come out of nowhere. They build on something that already exists. Look at GTA 3. It wasn't some wild, out-of-nowhere idea. It was built on years of experimentation with open-world gameplay. Or look at Marvel's cinematic universe. It didn't start with the Avengers. It started with decades of comics, early 2000s, superhero movies, and a strategic build-up with films like Iron Man. Even A24, the indie film studio known for original movies, didn't start from scratch. They built a brand by carefully curating directors with distinct voices and tapping into an audience hungry for something different. Compare that to Netflix, which pumps out content without a strong brand identity. Some things hit, most things don't, because without a foundation, your audience doesn't know what to expect. Number 2, a fresh perspective. The second ingredient, well, that's bringing something fresh to the table. If you just copy what's already out there, you'll get lost in the noise. But if you take something familiar and twist it, you create something special. Take The Last of Us. On paper, it's just a zombie game. But it's not about the zombies. It's about the emotional depth, the storytelling, the characters. That fresh approach turned it into one of the most beloved games of all time. Or Everything Everywhere All at Once. Multiverse movies aren't new, but that film used them in a completely unexpected way, mixing action, absurd humour, and deep family drama. It took something familiar and made it feel brand new. Number 3, trust in the process. Here's the part most people don't talk about. Execution matters more than ideas. A great idea with bad execution will fail, but a simple idea refined and improved over time can become legendary. Pixar rewrites their movies dozens of times before they hit the cinema. Nintendo delays games until they're polished to perfection. Even YouTubers who consistently put out great content aren't winging it. They're refining their craft over and over. Compare that to the early days of DCEU. They rushed to Justice League before properly setting up the universe. No iteration, no refinement. Just a scramble to compete against Marvel. And we all know how that turned out. Let's put it all together. Marvel succeeded because they built on established foundations, decades of comics and previous movies, brought in fresh perspectives with different directors, and trusted the process, carefully setting up their universe over time. The DC, well, they skipped steps. They didn't build up their characters before jumping into a team-up movie. The result? A creative mess that had to be rebooted. A24 did the opposite of Netflix's shotgun approach. They built a foundation of trust, brought in fresh storytelling voices, and curated every release to fit their brand. The result? A passionate audience that will see an A24 film just because of the logo. So how do you apply this to your own creative work? Well, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. Number 1, what foundation am I building on? Are you tapping into an existing idea, audience, or structure that gives your project a solid base? Number 2, what fresh perspective am I bringing? How are you making this different from everything that's already out there? Number 3, am I trusting in the process? Are you taking the time to refine and iterate, or are you rushing it out the door? The best creative projects don't just happen, they're built step by step using this formula. Now that you know the secret formula, what creative project are you working on? Drop it in the comments, I'd love to hear about it. And if this is helpful, hit the like and subscribe button because there's a lot more to explore. Creativity isn't magic, it's a process, and once you master it, anything is possible. Thanks again for watching. We make videos nearly every week about brand, trends, and digital. Until next time, see you next time. If you want to learn more about branding, we do have a 5-day crash course called Brand Sprint that's available to sign up now on our website. Link is in the description.